Hey guys, welcome to Amity Tracks. Well, I actually had some other video kind of planned and ready to go for today, but I didn't realize that the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame was announcing their list of nominees for the class of 2023, for the next class in the Rock Hall. So it makes sense to let's talk about that. It's always fun to go over these lists when they come out. And so I'll push back whatever we're going to do. We'll do that next week or whatever. So, I haven't really talked much Rock and Roll Hall, actually at all, Rock and Roll Hall of Fame on this channel. I actually have followed it pretty closely over the years. I'm not one of those people who thinks it's totally useless and, it's not rock and roll to have a Rock Hall of Fame. I guess since I do history for a living, it's sort of natural that I would, like the idea of having some sort of historical context, for this great music we love. I've been to the museum in Cleveland. It is fantastic. Even if you got real problems with the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame and how they bring in inductees, the museum's really kind of its own thing and is fantastic and well worth your support, by the way. But I've followed it closely. I will, like anyone else who cares about this music, I've got real problems, real issues with how the Rock Hall has gone about, nominating people and all that. I'll save all that kind of stuff for. I don't want to do a video soon. I was planning on doing my top 10 snubs, my top 10 artists who aren't in the Rock Hall who should be, and there we can air grievances about how the Rock Hall works, its inner workings. But this episode I just kind of want to talk about these nominees and what I think of them and who I think's worthy, who's not, and tell you who I would pick and all that kind of stuff. So, how it works, real quick, in case you're not that familiar with how the Rock Hall works. It's actually a two-step process. You have a nominating committee, which has a bunch of artists and kind of music execs and music insiders. I know Jan Winter used to be on there, and I don't even know who all's on there now. I can find it, but they meet once a year, throw this stuff around, and come up with this list of nominees. Okay. That's where it gets really political. And when I do a separate video, we'll dive into all the issues I've got with the nominating committee and lack of transparency and all of that. Then this list of nominees goes out to the larger voting body, which is around 400 to 500 people, I believe. It's just a lot of industry insiders, critics, and execs, and just people who know music. I know all living inductees also get a ballot, and so everyone who's already been inducted, who's still alive, can vote. We can vote. It's kind of symbolic more than anything else. If you go to rockhall.com, which is the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame's website, you can cast a vote. And what they do is they tally up all the people, all of our votes in this thing on the this poll on their website, and they cobble all that together as one ballot. So one ballot out of 400 something is our voice. Yeah, I go and vote. You can vote once a day, actually, because you got to log in and all that, and they keep track. But you can vote once a day. So I usually do that, and they let you vote for 5 nominees out of this list of 14. Okay, so that's how that works. And then classes vary. Lately they've been a little larger, so maybe 7 artists get inducted out of this list of 14 or so. Maybe that's kind of how it's been lately. And this is the performer category. There are other categories. There's a musical excellence category, there's the early influence category, then there's the Amity Tracks award. The musical excellence lately has been used as sort of a backdoor to bring in artists who kind of should be in there but can't make it through the voting. I don't know if that's really what it was designed for, but then the early influence, kind of self-explanatory. Amity Tracks is cool. It's for people who aren't musicians but have had a huge impact on rock and roll. Really influential critics, record executives, producers, stuff like that. Promoters, Bill Graham, those kind of people. So that's cool. And they have separate little kind of subcommittees that just put those people in. But, most of us pay attention to this performer category, right? The criteria, not much. Now you have to, it has to have been 25 years at least since your first release to make you eligible. And your first release can be a single or an album, but your first commercial release, 25 years has to have passed. If you go to the website, they basically say originality, impact, and influence. Those are the big criteria they claim to have. But anyway, all right. So let's go through these artists real quick. You have Cyndi Lauper. This is her first nomination. I agree with this. I think she has had a pretty big impact on rock and roll style, and really like this record. She's so unusual. Uh, kind of, I think, underappreciated for her real artistry. Great songwriter, and yeah, I'm cool with her. George Michael. This would be his first nomination. I'm not a huge fan, but I'm okay with him. Yeah, I mean, if you combine his impact with Wham and then as a solo artist, yeah, I think he's had a pretty big impact. Now we get into this argument of what's rock and roll, what's not rock and roll. The horse is out of the barn on that. I mean, they have a very broad definition of rock and roll, in the Rock Hall of Fame. And does rap belong? R&B, some country artists who maybe influence rock. Well, whether you agree with it or not, as far as who they have inducted, the answer is yes. Okay, so George Michael is much rock and roll or just this big pop artist. It fits the definition. Sheryl Crow. This is her first nomination. She's the only one out of this list that I don't think deserves induction in the Rock Hall of Fame. She's had huge success. I don't mind her. There's some of her songs I like, but that's not enough. Originality, impact, and influence. I don't see Sheryl Crow really having a lot of those things. Willie Nelson. So, Willie Nelson, country artists. I'm cool with this, and this is actually someone I have argued for a while should be in the Rock Hall of Fame. Why? Well, Johnny Cash is in there. Dolly Parton went in last year. I don't know. I mean, I love Dolly Parton. She's a hugely important cultural icon. Don't know what she has impacted rock and roll. Willie Nelson, I think, along with Johnny Cash, has influenced a lot of people in rock. Not that he's done rock, but the whole outlaw movement. I'm cool with Willie. I mean, if Johnny's in there, I think Willie should be in there. Warren Zevon. This is his first nomination. I think long overdue. Great songwriter. Yeah, Warren Zevon. Missy Elliott. This is her first nomination. Yeah, it's kind of out of my wheelhouse of music, but she, I mean, has a huge impact. If you are letting in, rap and hip hop and all of that, okay, I mean, she's been a pretty huge figure. Yeah, just not. I don't listen to her, but but I know how important she is. And again, you can have that argument over whether hip hop and all that even belongs in the Rock Hall, but it's there already, and so you have to assume it's there. This next one's interesting. First nomination, long overdue. This was on my list of snubs, so no longer because at least they've been nominated. Joy Division / New Order. You might think, wait, those are two separate bands. Yes, they are. Obviously, New Order sort of came out of Joy Division after Ian Curtis's suicide, but they've done this once before with the Small Faces and the Faces, where they just kind of combined it into one nomination. I'm cool with it because I want both of these. I want Joy Division and New Order. I want both of them in. If you can get them in one, fine. I mean, Joy Division, New Order. This is kind of a ridiculous snub. It's taken a while for some of these great 80s artists to get in. And this is one of the great snubs, I think. New Order even more than Joy Division, but they're both hugely important and influential. So yes, the White Stripes, their first nomination. Yeah, get Jack White in there. Yeah, I honestly haven't been a huge fan, but Jack White as a figure has been hugely impactful, in the last 20 years or so. So I'm cool with that. Tribe Called Quest. This would be their second nomination. Um, very, yeah. I just have that one. I don't even remember the title of it. Ugh, Low End Theory. The Low End Theory. Anyway, editor will put it up there. I have that on CD somewhere. I didn't pull out the CD, but I'm a very creative. Bring in a lot of interesting kind of elements to their music. So again, if we're letting hip hop and all that kind of stuff in, then yeah, I'm cool with that. This next one, it is absurd that this band is not in the Hall of Fame already. It's only their second nomination. Iron Maiden. Again, when I get into my snubs video that I'll do soon. Now I'm all fired up, so I'll probably do that soon. But there are certain genres that the Rock Hall has been slow to really give its proper due. Metal is one. You don't have Iron Maiden in there already? Come on. Prog is another. Progressive rock is another one. King Crimson's not in there. Haven't even been nominated. We'll get into that on my snubs video. Iron Maiden, no brainer. Soundgarden. This is their second nomination. Yeah, yeah. I just not. I mean, one of the biggest bands of the '90s. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Kate Bush. This is her fourth nomination. I love Kate Bush, and I have even before Running Up the Hill became this surprise hit again because of Stranger Things. Kate Bush is one of the most creative, brilliant artists. She's got everything. And I'm hoping because of the momentum with the whole Stranger Things, and maybe that'll get her in this time. I think she deserves to be in there. Now, the Rock Hall has been very kind of centered, really kind of US centric. She's a lot bigger in Europe and in the UK than in the US. But, you know, yes, get her in there. Get her in there. I think this is probably her best chance because of that momentum there. Two more. The Spinners. This is their fourth nomination. Yes. The Rock Hall's actually, I think, been pretty good about getting in a lot of these sort of R&B, soul influences. Spinners were great. They had a lot of great hits. I'll Be Around and all that. Yeah, get the Spinners in there. And then finally, Rage Against the Machine. This would be their fifth nomination. They're trying to get in for the fifth time. Not a fan. I'm a little surprised they haven't gotten in because Tom Morello has been very involved in the Rock Hall. I think he is on the nominating committee. So I'm a little surprised that they've had to wait this long to get in. Um, like I said, not a fan, but I understand their influence and importance. So I guess so. So really, out of these 14, Sheryl Crow's the only one that I really kind of have, I don't think she's really hall worthy. And by saying someone's not hall worthy doesn't mean that they're not any good. I mean, she's got some songs that are good, I like, but the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame should be a fairly high bar, you know. Anyway, so those are my thoughts. So I have already cast my first vote on the website. I'll tell you who I voted for, since they only let you vote for 5 out of these. I cast a vote for Cyndi Lauper. I cast a vote for Willie Nelson. Cast a vote for Joy Division, New Order. That's as one vote. I cast a vote for Iron Maiden, of course, and Kate Bush. Those are my 5 that I was pushing. Yeah. Do I have any predictions this early? Looking at this list, well, let's see here. Let's say they let in 7. So let's just say that they let in 7 artists. Out of this list, I would predict. I'm doing this on the fly here as we're recording. I didn't really think this far ahead before I started this video. Give me a second and let me think. All right, through the magic of editing, the editor cut while I thought about this. Now here are my thoughts. If I got to predict 7 coming in, I think Cyndi Lauper, I think Willie Nelson, I think Missy Elliott, I think Joy Division New Order, I think Iron Maiden, I think Soundgarden, I think Kate Bush. I think those would be the most likely 7 to come in. I'm not saying those are the ones I want. I told you who I wanted out of the 5 that I would vote for, but if I'm predicting who will get in, I think it'll be those. I think George Michael will eventually get in. I think the White Stripes will eventually get in. Rage Against the Machine maybe will eventually get in. Yeah, but I think I don't think it'll be this year on some of those. So those are my thoughts. Well, all right, guys, in the comments, what do you guys think? Do you like the list? Do you not like the list? Who do you think's worthy? Who's not worthy? Who would you vote out of this list? But also, who do you predict will get in? All that good stuff. Let's talk Rock Hall. All right. Anyway, thanks, guys. Oh, please do subscribe to the channel, please. Really does help us out a lot if you like this material. Uh, it helps us do what we want to do, like the videos, all that good stuff. Well, all right, we'll see you guys next time.